Hey, welcome back to the channel. I wasn't planning on doing this video today or like this, but I was on a ride and I got a flat front tire. I run latex tubes and I took it off to check it out, and a really weird thing was happening to it. So now is as good a time as any to go over the pros and cons of latex tubes. So out on my ride, on a road ride today with this guy, 10 minutes into it, I feel the front tire going down. And it wasn't like a flat. I didn't get like a puncture or, a blowout. There's no glass in the tire, no metal pieces or anything. It just slowly let out of air. So I pulled over and changed it, and I opened it up, and you'll see inside as soon as I show you the spare tube here. And it was just really weird. It's this latex. It looked like an old balloon, like it was all wrinkly and deflated, and it was really strange. So let me get this one out, show you what it looks like, and then we'll go over some pros and cons of using latex tubes. Okay, so I took the latex tube out of my pouch after I replaced it on my ride, and it's going to be probably kind of hard to see, but when it was all deflated, I don't know if you can see there. Let me zoom this in a little bit. There we go. So it's kind of wrinkly there. And that's on the inside of the wheel because there's the stem there. So it's got I don't know if that's just because the way it was rubbing on the inside of the wheel or what, but when it was deflated, it was super wrinkly. And then look at this weak spot over here. I don't know if you can tell there, but somehow it got folded up and it looks like it's really, really thin there. So I'm guessing that's possibly where the air came out. I don't know, maybe I'll pump it up here in a little bit and check it out. But, there were no punctures and no, like I said, it wasn't a pinch fat, it wasn't a blowout, just slowly lost air. Oh, and by the way, this tube does have one patch on it. And you can use the normal patches, so if you do learn one thing from this video, know that you can use the normal patches on a latex tube. That's just your standard patch, so that does work. But there's some more of that wrinkling effect you see there. I think one of the reasons it might do this is because this is kind of one of my pet peeves of latex tubes. These tubes lose a lot of pressure in just a few days, whereas a normal tube, so something, one of these, the normal type, this one will lose maybe over a week. This will lose, I don't know, 10, 15 psi over a week. Latex tube, if I pumped up to 100 psi for my ride, by the time I'm riding the next week, if I go a full week, it's down to like 30, 20 psi maybe, 20, 30, 40, something like that. Really low, right? It loses a lot of pressure. That's just the function of the material. It's less thick, I guess, than the butyl rubber, so the air can go through it a little more easily. It's more stretchy. This is literally a balloon, balloon material. I should say it's latex. So I think that might be a factor. By pumping it up and then it deflating and kind of wrinkling up, and you pump it up again and then deflate it. Maybe that's wearing it out. I don't know, but see what happened here is looks like it pumped up, deflated itself, made a little crease there, and I pumped it up again, and maybe it made a weak spot and lost air. But let's go pump it up and see where the air is actually coming out and see if it's a hole that I missed or is it really just leaking out of one of these weak parts. Yep, just as I thought. Air is coming out. If you can hear the hissing. Where's the microphone on this thing? Hear that? It's coming out right in this little crease right here that I showed you. Either where it folded on itself and I pumped it up. Little leak there. Which sucks because now it's no good because I can't really patch that, so gotta replace it. But yeah, I don't know how that happened. It must have been because it deflates and then I reinflated it and it deflates, and you can see how thin it is just by me. Can you see that? You can see the light through it there, just thinning out. Got too weak. So now I'm worried about the back tire because I have the same exact tube in the back. So I'm going to take this off deflate it, see if it's having that same issue with it wrinkling. So let's see what it looks like inside. And the same kind of thing is happening here on the back tube that was happening on the front. You see these little folds? Let's get this into the light. See like that little crease right there? Little crease right here, and that worries me that it's gonna weaken the tube and form a hole. Especially up by the stem. See right in that little gap right there, there's like a, I don't know what that is, because it's not, the inside of the wheel isn't sharp or anything in there. It's got a nice smooth tape surface. There's nothing sharp. Nothing sharp in here making that shape, but clearly down here you can see these funny little notch right there. Same thing kind of on this side. Worries me a little bit, especially like right there. You can see it's, you can hear the washing machine go behind me. That's just great. See these, like right there. Like, I'm worried that I'm gonna get a flat on the rear pretty soon. Same way I did on the front. See, all the way around it's kind of balloon-like. So the supposed advantages of latex here versus normal butyl rubber is that it's lighter for one, and you're supposed to get a little bit less rolling resistance because the latex, let me get this one up here, the latex has less friction against the tire, so every time it compresses on the downside, you're getting less loss of friction here versus this guy. This is, I mean, just by feeling it, you can feel that's a little more friction there than this. It's a lot smoother. So supposedly there's an advantage in less rolling resistance between the two. This is also lighter, and to show that, I've lined up 3 different tubes to determine if weight is a factor in which tube you choose. We'll go into durability later after what I found out today on my ride with my flat tire. So here's a standard tube, pretty chunky. That's basically your kind of thick-walled standard road tube. This is a light tube, so it's a little bit thinner wall, less durable. You might get more flats, but I run Tuffys anyway, as you may have seen when I took the tube out. So I use light tubes anyways, a little bit lighter. And then brand new latex tube feels pretty lightweight as well, so to have less rolling resistance. But let's do the weight factor first. So the standard tube feels pretty chunky. That guy is 108 grams. So that's pretty hefty, but like I said, a little more resistant to punctures. Light tube, a little thinner wall. This guy is 72 grams, so that's pretty light. It's going to save you 30 grams or so. And then the latex one also feels pretty lightweight. 73 grams, so pretty much same weight as the light butyl rubber. And in fact, I have another light one here. Let's see what this one weighs. This is also a quote-unquote light tube. And that one's 67. This one's even lighter than the latex. So weight shouldn't really be a factor in picking out your tubes, because you can get, and these latex ones are pretty expensive too. I forget what they are, $7, $8, something like that. Standard tube you can find for like $3 or $4. The light ones are probably $5 or so. So you can even find ones lighter than latex. So I mean, for me, I think I might be going back to butyl rubber after what I found out with the durability of these latex ones and the fact that they lose so much pressure after every ride. I got to pump up a lot, which I think contributes to the wrinkling effect. And then when you pump it up, it folds back on itself and creates the pinch point. So for me, I'm going to throw, since I don't trust my tubes I have in there now because it looks like they're already pinching out, and there's some weak spots on the tubes, I have 2 new latex ones, so I'm going to throw them in there and ride them. They're probably good for a little while. But then I'm switching back to the lights because they're cheaper, more durable, and then I don't have to worry about losing air pressure. So that's my experience with latex. As far as rolling resistance goes, I don't really notice a difference, but I'm not like a pro athlete or anything with a power meter or anything like that to measure any difference. It feels like it might ride a little softer, more supple, but that could just be in my head as well. For me, I'm switching back. For you, it's up to you, but those are my thoughts and experiences. So thanks for watching this. Hope you learned a couple things about latex versus butyl rubber versus no hefty standard tube, and get out there and enjoy your ride. Thanks for watching. See you next time. For your reference, a Tuffy tire liner, which you may have seen me putting in a tire there, it's supposed to be a light one. These weigh, and I do run these front and back, these weigh about 54 grams each. So by running a light tire in a Tuffy, I do have a slightly heavier tire setup than just a standard tube, but this offers way more flat protection. I can't tell you how many pieces of metal and glass I've pulled out of my tires that these have prevented me getting flats from. So I do like them, love them, but it's slightly heavier than just normal tube. But there you go, just for your reference. Tuffy tire liners, 55 grams.